So today we're checking out some pickup solutions for classical guitar, and I've previously did a review of this mic, of this pickup that goes underneath the tie block of your guitar, and we'll talk about that. But today we're also going to look at a contact mic that just goes on the top, on the soundboard of your guitar. So one of the great things about this one is that since it goes on the tie block of your guitar, it doesn't actually affect the strings, which is great because you don't want anything like underneath the actual saddle of the guitar affecting the sound transfer from the strings into the soundboard. So this goes on the tie block, which is a really great solution, and I tried it out and I really like this one, so I already know that. But today we'll be trying out this other one. So you can see here's the bridge of the guitar. This just goes on the top of the instrument, anywhere that you like, so anywhere on the soundboard, and then you can just take it on and off. So that's kind of an advantage. With this one, you really you can't, it's fairly easy to take on and off the guitar, but you have to loosen the strings to get it out of there and stuff like that. And people have mentioned that sometimes it's a little bit fragile. This is what goes underneath the tie block, and then you just plug it into the end there. It's a little bit fragile probably, but I haven't had a problem yet. And this is the contact mic. So let's check these both out. I'll do a little test and I'll also show you how that one looks, even though you can watch that previous video and there's a link for that underneath this one. So let me just show you the installation of this one. So it just fits right underneath the tie block just like that. The other pickup will just attach somewhere to your guitar, and I'll show you, it comes with like a little sticky bead, sticky putty thing. So you could put some protection on your guitar if you have French polish on. This is my cheaper guitar, so I'll just end up throwing it right onto there, but you can put this anywhere you want to put it to adjust the sound. So obviously this is much easier to install. You just pop right on. This isn't so bad though, and you can keep this in and it doesn't affect the actual sound of your guitar, so you could keep it in all the time if you wanted. One thing that YouTube comments have pointed out is that this end piece here is sometimes a little bit fragile. So they've said it can break off in your case and things like that. I've had no problem with mine. You can see that. So we'll do a little sound test of these two different pickups. One thing to keep in mind is that I'm going through two mics here, condenser mics, and then into my universal audio sound interface. So it's a little deceiving in terms of the sound because then it also goes through your speakers as well. So there's a lot of technological steps in between it all. I've tried them out with the amp here, and in person they sound pretty good. This one on the bridge pickup here, or on the tie block, it sounds the most natural to me. It sounds like the most like a classical guitar. It's kind of sweet. It's relatively balanced and warm. The output is quite a bit less than this one. This one has a higher output, so it's quite a bit louder. Also, the great thing about this one is that you can move it around. Like when I put it over here, it was too boomy. The bass was really boomy and the bass just wasn't working. I moved it down to here and it seemed to be like quite a bit better. So I put it here and it seemed to calm the basses down a little bit because they can be a little bit boomy. Both of them have their own qualities. I found this one sounds a little bit more natural, but this one sounds a little bit more electric, but you know, the output is pretty good and the convenience is pretty great. So I'll let you listen to them. First, I'll just put them through the universal audio interface, so you can just hear the clean signal right into the interface. No effects, no EQ. Then I'll put the mics in front of the amp, and you can hear what they sound like through the amp. But then again, you know, just remember it's getting processed through here, through the processor in the amp, out of the amp, into the microphones, into the interface over there, into my computer, and then through your speakers. There's no way it gives an accurate depiction of the sound. I think these are pretty good. They're not quite as balanced, as controllable as an under the saddle pickup, I think, but the convenience of not messing with your guitar is really, really nice. So I quite like them. I'd be willing to do gigs on either one of these. Maybe this one is better just in terms of it just being so detachable and adjustable, right? One thing I'll say is that the little sticky, there's like some sticky putty that on the bottom of this. I'm not sure if you can really see that. Make sure that you put some kind of protection on your guitar. I put some Klingon non-adhesive protection on my guitar. Not a big deal on this one, but that putty stuff kind of comes off on it. If you have French polish, I definitely wouldn't put it on your French polish. I would use some of this. It comes with an adhesive thing, but I would use something that's non-adhesive, such as the Klingon product. And then you can just stick this right onto your guitar and get to it. So listen to the sound, but again, just don't take the sound through the processing too seriously. After playing around with both of the pickups a little bit on my own, and I'll just talk about it now so we don't have to deal with whether it sounds accurate, but in terms of my ears, under the saddle, or under the tie block here, or on the tie block, the NG-1, it sounds a little bit more balanced, nicely balanced. It's like a little bit more of just like a mellow classical guitar sound. I think through the speaker, I would probably prefer to play gigs on that one. This one though is extremely convenient and the output is really good. So, and after playing around with it, if I wasn't comparing them back to back, I don't think I'd be able to give you an opinion on which one's better. So if you want to save some bucks and not install anything on your guitar, maybe just go with this one. If it's just for little casual gigs, background music, that kind of thing, the output is really good on this one, which is important. It can put more signal into your amp, and it's just so easy. You just pop it on and then you're good to go, and you don't have to think about it anymore. So you might want to keep those factors in mind. But like I said, I think I prefer the sound of this one a little bit more, but the convenience of this one is really hard to beat. On a quick side note, I've had this pickup for about 20 years, and I tested it out next to the other ones, and it sounded just as good actually. So maybe the technology really hasn't changed for the last 20 years or so, but this one's super reliable, made in Germany. And actually, I don't think the wood pickup is actually that necessary. This metal one looks just fine, and it's definitely durable. And it's just connected right to the cable, so you just plug in and go. You can get these still on Amazon. They pretty much look exactly the same after 20 years, so you can check those out. There's a link for that under the video as well. And then you can make your decision, but I actually thought that this one works just as well as the other one that you put on the soundboard. Maybe not quite as natural as the one that goes under the tie block, but very convenient.